Hello everybody and welcome back to another Physics Let's Talk. I am very excited to be once again using my SLR and hopefully there won't be as many screw ups today. I've got a fully charged battery, I've got a little bit of daylight. This video should be a lot easier to record than the one I was doing yesterday as well. So today I've got several topics for you. First topic being the main topic of the video is something I really didn't think I'd have to be talking about again. But sadly, it seems to be that way. I don't know if you guys remember a little while back there was this huge fiasco over a channel called DaddyOFive. This is a guy called Mike Martin that ran a prankster channel and a family vlogging channel where it just descended into literal child abuse. It was terrible. They were pretty much ran out of YouTube, and unbelievably, YouTube thinks it's fine for them to return to YouTube with two channels, one being family vlogging, the other being gaming. The reason why I'm doing this video today is because I found a video on their new channel called Jake Beats Up Ryan. I could already tell by their apology videos that they weren't genuine. They were the most disingenuous apology videos I've ever seen, and this is proof of that. They haven't learnt a single thing. Yes, this is only playful fighting, but it does turn a bit aggressive and you're literally sitting there recording it. So what you're doing is promoting violence amongst your children, and that's terrible. That's disgusting. But YouTube, nah, that's fine. Yeah, no worries. In fact, not just one channel, you can have two. You can have as many channels as you want. Come on, come back to YouTube. As you probably would have guessed, they have disabled their like ratios. Absolutely no surprises there. So, other than that, I'm going to be doing a little film analysis. This is about a film I've watched recently called Get Out. It's one of the most creative and inventive films I've seen for a long while. It is part thriller, part horror, with a lot of social commentary. I think it's wonderful. I won't talk about it too much now. I'll save that for later. After that, I'm going to be discussing a little bit about what I've been up to, a bit about my photography, a bit about my plans for music, and then I'm going to be talking about my theme park I'm creating, and I want to run my ideas by you guys, see what you think. I've had several suggestions, and I'm going to try and put 3 in each video, which could be a real challenge, but I've already started working on the Leviathan coaster, which was suggested to me by One More Snotty YouTube Opinion. The Leviathan roller coaster is a roller coaster from Canada, and it's the perfect, I couldn't have been suggested anything more perfect. It is the absolute perfect ride for me to build. I think I can manage it, and I've already built half of it, and you'll see that later on. As well as that, I've had suggestion of a panda roller coaster and a water park section, and I think they're great ideas, so I'll be fitting them into my latest episode. Now, let us roll that motherfucking intro. For our first topic, let us discuss DaddyOFive's return to YouTube. Now, to give you guys a quick reminder of exactly what the scenario was, Heather and Mike Martin were part of a blended family, so Heather Martin wasn't even the real mother to 2 of these children, which I think is a huge factor, but she seems to think the opposite. So these guys run a channel called DaddyOFive, in which they did family vlogging and prank videos. Their prank videos started to get more and more out of control, with the kids being the brunt of the joke, often ending up being shouted at. They would swear relentlessly at their kids, screaming at them. You could see the kids flinching in the videos. There was one scenario where the father pushed his child into a bookshelves, ending up with him having a seizure. So they're a terrible pair of parents that shouldn't have any kids, let alone 5. So this is a little snippet from people.com. A Maryland couple who ran a controversial YouTube channel where they posted prank videos involving their blended family of 5 kids pleaded guilty earlier this week to child neglect charges and were sentenced to probation. So, These guys got more and more exposure on YouTube until the point came where they got into trouble and were actually sentenced. Now, there was a lot of disputing as to whether the real mother to Cody and Emma was going to take back custody of them, and that was the final decision. Heather and Michael Martin of Maryland entered Alford pleas to 2 counts of each misdemeanor child neglect, according to prosecutors. The misdemeanor neglect charges stem from YouTube videos on their DaddyOFive channel showing Heather and Michael pranking 2 of their youngest children, Emma and Cody, who authorities said were 11 and 9 at the time. Many viewers slammed the parents' stunts as abusive. On Monday, after their pleas, Heather and Michael were sentenced to a consecutive 5 years on each count, or 10 years total, but the term was suspended in lieu of 5 years probation for each, according to prosecutor Lendell Angel. Describing the Martins remorseful, Angel says the prosecution is satisfied with the outcome. I think the resolution was fair for everyone involved, says Angel, the chief of the Family Violence and Sexual Assault Unit at the State Attorney's Office in Frederick County, Maryland. It does what we need to do to protect Cody and Emma, who are Michael's biological kids with his ex-girlfriend, Angel says. The evaluations that were conducted of Heather and Mike, obviously their judgment was somewhat warped in participating in these videos, but there wasn't any malicious intent to damage the children. Whilst that may be true, they were clearly very unremorseful, even going as far as blaming the kids, saying that they were the ones that came up with these ideas, and then there was no clear definition between them saying whether the videos were fake or whether they were over-exaggerated, because they can't be both. And I'm sorry, but those videos were not fake. Those children aren't Oscar-winning actors. They were clearly in a lot of distress, often in tears, screaming, and clearly afraid of their parents. It was a disgusting and horrible situation, and in any rational society, in my mind, these guys should be kicked off of YouTube for good. But that's not the case, because not only have they returned to YouTube, but they now have 2 channels. Who is watching these people? I guess more just ridiculous parents that don't understand how hideous their behaviour was, and how that there really isn't anything they can do to deserve to come back to YouTube. Not only did they avoid this sentence, they should be in prison. That's my point here. They should be in prison, but they're not. They're roaming the streets, and they're still bringing up their children with these YouTube channels. So let's talk about their current content and what direction they've gone in.
What's up, family? So we're about to do the yoga challenge. Well, we're not, the kids are. Before we get started with that, though, I got a couple more envelopes in the mail, so I'm going to quickly read the names of those people who will be...
Just get this gag reflex. Cave Troll and the Royalty Fleet ukulele, both at the same time.
What's up, family? So we're about to do the yoga.
So here we are, about ready to do this yoga challenge.
Please don't do cocaine.
I'm not doing this yoga challenge. Jake and Ryan are doing this yoga challenge. We can't really have Alex do it because he's a little too small, and he won't have a partner that's his size. What do you think I am?
Cocaine. Hey, cocaine rule here, bro. Hey, please don't do cocaine. Hey, cocaine.
So your kid is literally bouncing up and down, rapping about cocaine, but you don't really have anything to comment on that? Not wondering why your young child is talking about a very dangerous drug? And I've kind of noticed that every one of your children is clearly overweight. Do you want to maybe sort that out so they don't end up looking like an unbelievably hideous swamp donkey like yourself?
Red ribbon week. Fight!
I don't think any of that is yoga.
Ah! Ow! My back! My back!
He said his back hurts, so get off of him.
So did you maybe want to step in? Maybe stop the fight that's happening? Instead of putting a big sign saying fight when you're supposed to be doing a yoga challenge. Instead you're kind of encouraging them to fight with each other. It's just, you're not doing a good job of displaying the traits that people want to see in you. We don't want to see you encouraging violence among your children. We want that kind of thing to stop. Because it didn't go very well last time when you lost some of your children and were sentenced to actual jail time. But you're just going to carry on. Are they going to get more ridiculous? Or is it going to stay this tame? I can't really tell. Your kids are clearly kind of out of control. Rapping about cocaine right before having an extremely over-the-top play fight. It's just not good, really. I mean, it's not... I'm not saying this is, whoa, this is terrible, this is the worst thing I've ever seen, because obviously it's just a little fight, but my point is that I don't think they've really changed. I don't think they've ever been genuine about their apologies or anything like that. I don't think they should be on YouTube. I think they should be going to... I'm sure they may be going to parenting classes. They should be after being sentenced. My comment a second ago about the kids being slightly overweight. Obviously, my main concern isn't for them to turn out looking like the ugly swamp donkey of a mother that Heather Martin is. My main concern is that they will be obese and they will die. Their bodies will give up because of how overweight they are. That's a real big issue that so many parents are just completely overlooking these days. But are my videos getting boring? I feel like I'm just talking sternly constantly. Let's move on from this and look into something a little bit more interesting, which is the film called Get Out. I'm going to do a quick analysis on it. I'm not going to give away many spoilers. I just want to give you guys an idea of what this film is all about, because I think it's pretty shit hot. Okay guys, so Get Out. This film is a masterpiece. It is nothing short of a masterpiece. I think it is definitely one of the best films of the past decade, and that's really saying something. It really is. So the story revolves around a character called Chris Washington, who is invited to his girlfriend's parents' house, and from there they also have a party. Now, everything seems very fine, normal and standard at first, but the storyline develops in a very bizarre way. Nothing is quite as it seems at this party. Everyone's acting very strange, but on the topic of acting, everyone in this film played their characters absolutely perfectly, and you could see heavy inspiration in the camera work from directors like Stanley Kubrick. I just thought it was wonderful. There's a lot of really surreal imagery, very interesting stuff, but I can't say much about the plot without giving away a lot. But there's a lot of social commentary, but it's not in your face. It's done in a very subtle way, and I can appreciate that very much. Now, Jordan Peele, who is the writer and director, kudos to this guy. I've never actually heard of him, but he has created something really special here. The story has some of the most intense twists I've ever seen, and good acting doesn't necessarily just come from the actor, it also comes from the way that he is directed. So Jordan Peele, you've done an incredible job. But Daniel Kaluuya, who played Chris Washington, the main character, he is an incredible actor. I was first blown away by his performance in one of the episodes of Black Mirror. If you haven't seen Black Mirror, it is by someone called Charlie Brooker. It is a British series. Each episode is different from the next, and they all are based around ideas of dystopian futures, the way technology could take a dark turn, that kind of thing. It's absolutely fantastic stuff, and Daniel Kaluuya played an episode in that and did a stunning performance. He's a really fantastic actor, and I think he's going to go a long way in his career. So Get Out was an absolute masterpiece. I really do recommend it to anyone that's into not just horror, but films in general. The way it builds suspense and tension is just incredible. It's the kind of film that's very rewatchable because you'll start noticing more of the story by rewatching it. And I think it's a sign of a very good director when you can create that kind of film, that each time you watch it, you can find out something new. Much like, say, Fight Club, rewatching that will show you a lot more than what you had previously seen. So those are my thoughts on Get Out. I hope I've interested you in the film because it is fantastic, and I do recommend it to anyone out there. It's not massively scary, so if you're not into your scary films, don't worry. It won't have you quivering in your seat, but it's just wonderful. So that is Get Out. Let us now move on to some slightly smaller subjects. So finally, I'm going to be getting a little bit more into photography and music. I've been wanting to get back into photography for such a long time now. As a lot of you probably know, I haven't had my camera and some of my equipment because of a fire that happened in this house, and we're just getting the insurance money back, etc, etc. So I'm going to be doing a lot more photography. I've done a little bit already just to kind of test out the camera. So what you're seeing on the screen now are a couple of pictures I've taken with this camera already, just to kind of test it out, see what I'm dealing with here. I've got a much larger lens if I'm up for doing some long range photography, if I'm doing a bit of wildlife photography, capturing birds up in trees, things like that. Aside from that, I've got my music equipment back, so I'm going to be getting back into developing an album. I'm going to be working on some techno, and I'm going to be working on some hip hop. Finally, this theme park, this wonderful theme park. Thank you to one more snotty YouTube opinion. I've already started the Leviathan roller coaster, and here is a little clip of that now. That is going to be a wonderful roller coaster when it's finished, as long as it's safe, because I often accidentally make my roller coasters way too leery and things kind of spiral out of control from there. Aside from that, I'm going to be making a panda roller coaster and a water park section. I want to do a full water park, but for the moment I'm just going to do one section of this park as a water park section. So I think that's just about everything for today. This video ended up being a lot longer than I wished it to be, but My camera's worked the whole time. The audio's been fine. Hopefully this video will look alright. Hopefully this will actually come out being a structured video. If you could, please like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already, and please do share this video with your friends, your family, pets, dogs, cats, horse, llama, alpaca, giraffe, tiger. You know the deal, baby. Yeah, please do share this video. I've put a lot of work into this video, so it would mean a lot to me if you guys could do that for me. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate it every time you take a moment out of your day to check out one of my videos. So thank you so much. I will see you in the next one.